Hi there, Michael Andre Ford in San Antonio, Texas, your American Angel Intuitive, or just the guy who helps you get out of what you know, get out of any situations in terms of just at least temporarily up here to get to your heart, to basic listening, feeling, seeing, and to connect with the universe more. So we're talking angels, loving beings, galactic figures, religious figures, non-religious, it's all love and above. I don't think there's any one figure that everybody on planet Earth would agree to, but between hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of figures, there's at least someone out there you're willing to listen to get your answers. And I mean fantastic answers for any situation. So it could be your relatives as well, past or loved ones. I always do angels first so you get comfortable. I don't see your questions or answers, so this is really direct. It should shatter how you view woo-woo-woo, spirituality, religion, even a little bit, because you can meet Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha. Again, some people think Mary is a third-party character. She's love. If you only talk to her for the rest of your life, you'd be fine. She's really high-powered love, compassion, sparkly glitter if you'll allow for the seeing part. And I guess that's really the rub here is what are you allowing for? Forget everything I just mentioned, the fact that the hugs can become healing. Colorblind people have seen color. People do this jointly. I'm off the hook. I have photos of angels, and they're not just balls of light, they're shapes, silhouettes, and stuff like that. Play-Doh exists. The real question is, what are you allowing for? The last time I checked in society, whether it's the scientific community, even the spiritual community, really any community, any organization, they're paid to know something. It's all about knowing, but we're not talking the knowing that's universal knowledge. We're talking the knowing that precludes possibility, and that means shortcomings big time. It doesn't mean that this knowing, this knowledge, mankind building rocket ships, mankind building bombs, doesn't mean that we're not experts at building stuff and all the rest, but our knowing is pretty finite. It's actually like one grain of sand on a big beach, and most of our knowing gets replaced with something else pretty quickly. You knew you liked New York City, then you moved away, you realized you like California better. Science, you make a discovery, but it gets bumped out of the way 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, 20 years later and replaced. And then they argue over everything. So this isn't about thinking. This is about less thinking. It's not about anything up here, which is where mankind's at. Mankind's up here thinking weaponry, harm, violence, knowing stuff that precludes possibility, and much more is the way to go. Now it's Easter today. Happy Easter. Everything I'm hopefully pointing to and talking about, you already have within you. There's nothing to like learn here. There's nothing you have to gain. There's nothing you have to lose. Maybe slow down a little bit, but move past seeing the negative. It's not like a zero-sum game here. You already have everything within you. You're fully connected to the universe. There's a lot of people, it might take 10 years of deprogramming or just letting go or relaxing or breathing or getting their schedule slowed down to even allow for the concept of this. So let's back up again. You can have any answer to any question, all languages spoken, all dialects. On top of that, your personality, you don't like sushi, you only like sushi on Wednesdays, you only eat the miso soup, you don't eat fish. You don't like football, but you like soccer. You do like English football, but you don't like American football. Um, you have a gajillion ways that you roll that makes up your unique personality. You also have a very unique life path. I wouldn't want to change one iota of thinking. I do, if I'm going to be pushy about one thing, it's just, hey, it isn't about up here, it's about down here. And you had it as a kid. You had it when you were on the soccer field on your fifth goal in a row in a period of 20 minutes. You just knew how to that day navigate everybody. Time slowed down, it sped up. You did the bicycle kick, the ball went in the goal. You were one with the pitch, one with the soccer ball, one with everything, one with your heart. It could be archery, it could be pool, it could be artistic stuff, it could be singing, it could be just going for a walk, walking your dog, listening to your dog. Dogs are like third graders. So living pets, I do passed over pets as well. You can connect and do animal communication, connect with dolphin consciousness. If you have a dolphin right in front of you, technically you can just let go and hear the dolphin. It's probably easier with your pet dog or cat. And this is, again, a lot to take in. I'm sure there's some skeptics somewhere, but again, I feel like I'm off the hook because I've got photos of angels in light energy form. Here's a silhouette of an angel. A retired physician got to sit with her on a California beach for 30 minutes, probably back in 2024, maybe early 2025. She's been on my show twice. This is my guardian angel as well. Her name's Min, like Minnesota, Lakota Sioux word for water. Very Hawaii, very Mother Hawaii, very soft-spoken professor. She's light waves of energy and water. And angels have a galactic background. If you're too worried about religion, you're not the type that's into religion, She's got a serious background, as in Andromeda, Orion, Pleiades, serious. Not trying to sound too serious here. Some people can't hear that. There's no winning on any of this stuff with the terminology. I walk into someone with Scottish background or they live in Ireland and they've got to have Mary a certain way, a certain photo. And Mary is a very important figure there. There's so much terminology. And then there's some organizations that are so strict you can't even mention any of this. And you get to see full on. And they can show up in full human form. So you can put your hand out and have your hand held. Um, if you can just let go of what you know long enough, you can have what are considered either religious miracles, mini miracles, miracles, societal miracles, healing, some stuff you're meant to have, some stuff can be addressed. It's between you and the universe. You have to have that conversation, which means you have to be able to get to hear, which means you have to be able to open up for just a split second. You were open all the time as a kid for whenever there wasn't trauma going on. You were ready to climb that tree, have fun, wanted to be an astronaut, what have you. And I should mention um, that doctor, episode 110, August 30th of 2024, Dr. Karen Wyatt. She tells a great, recounts a great story from her childhood. Here she is a retired physician today. She shares how she's safely in her bed at age 7, 8, or 9, safe house, safe bed, middle of the night, wakes up and an angel all in white, that one, shows up at the foot of her bed. And from then on, she knew she wanted to be a doctor. And she was filled with love. She got to the residency part of everything just before she becomes an official doctor. And they asked her why why she wants to be a doctor. She raised her hand, said love, and she learned don't do that again. I just had a neuroscientist on who said, her 6 years of scientific training, they drum the life out of you, literally squeeze the life out of you so that everything in the universe is reduced down to an equation. There's no chance of anything spontaneous, creative, love and above, any of this stuff. So, it doesn't mean there isn't a scientist somewhere that wants to get their formula filled out. I mean, imagine what happens if the youth of the world, scientists of the world, if we could just a little up top, they just listen in their hearts. You can get any answers for anything. And what I was trying to get to is angels, light beings, galactic figures, Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha. You're like an open book for them. They're not judging. They also, time isn't what you think, so they know every second of your whole life and probably your future path as well. They know how to phrase everything, not just language. If you speak Persian, you speak German, you speak Arabic, they don't just speak that way. And they don't just do a dialect that might make you laugh. There's a lot of humor too. They also know how to say everything the way you need to hear it. I think that's a critical point that often gets missed. So that alone should, if mankind was sharp, mankind, not intelligence of like building steel factories or computer software programming or an electric car. If mankind was sharp, it would be doing everything it can to do proper expansion, proper understanding. What is that? Heart, love. You don't need right or wrong if you've got proper understanding. You would never want to cause harm. So, in that same vein, if our species was really interested in peaceful living and peaceful expansion and helping others, you should want to jump all over meeting, hearing, and feeling and seeing loving beings from the stars, Native American chiefs, 40 to 60 deities and unconditional love figures, passed over gurus from India, um, Carl Jung, Einstein, Plato, Marcus Aurelius, Socrates, Seneca, Debbie Ford, Anthony Bourdain, Elvis, Nelson Mandela, MLK. It goes on and on and on. And you can also see and meet your higher self, your soul. You can see your soul as an aurora borealis, or you can close your eyes and be on a beach. And after you've seen a few angels chatted, you can see yourself, a higher self of you. You're going to be shinier, brighter, and feeling a little more peppy. That soul side of you. Um, what else? So this is a lot to take in, but it's really just about kindness, compassion, slowing down, basic listening, basic feeling, basic touch. So if you've ever held someone's hand in real life, that's all this is. It may come in as a little bit of energy at first or sparkle. You kind of have to do baby steps for letting go. It's why I take a little bit of sage and I blow it through the screen at first. You'll find this on all my shows. It's the Angel Positivity and Love Show currently on YouTube. Basically 300 episodes are out, just shy of that officially, but we've taped 320 or something episodes, so we're pretty much all set till June right now, with episodes booked to almost November. And yeah, another 100+ shows called the APL Spotlight Series, where I have fun guests back on. We try to go pretty freewheeling, where the guest gets to share what they want to share, but they take steps. And every time the show happens, you get to take steps. You get to smell sage. You get to see light on my hands. You can see auras, light, consciousness. You can see it on your dog, the tree. You can hear trees talk. Everything is alive. The India folks, people from India have it right. Those who say that everything is conscious. Everything is made up of light. Everything is made up of we'll talk to you if you'll just pay attention and listen. Now, scouts, hunters, trackers who pay attention know this, that everything is telling you something. And even philosophers and Buddhist monks teach you that everything is your instruction. So the more you pay attention, the more you grow your awareness, not your thinking, the more you expand with love in your heart, kindness, compassion, sparkle, a little zip in your step. And the more you're connected to your soul, the more your eyes shine and the more you are embracing love. So this is all about showing love always, not about judging more. Judging hasn't ever helped you expand or have a better day. I'm not saying that you don't have a neighbor that's a jerk, a boss that's not a jerk, your cousin's being mean, you're not liking your cousin. You don't have to start a business with your cousin, but you can pump the brakes on all the thinking, the hatred, the negativity, the rejection, the worry, the fear, the stress, the reacting, all of that. If you could just see what that is about, you would understand in a greater way why, when I show you my light in just a little bit, why it's really more important that you understand that where you put your focus is where you put it. So if you're only following war, violence, you think their entire half of the globe is evil because they're not your religion, you'll hopefully come to the conclusion you're just doing a little bit of negativity or a lot of negativity. It depends. And the more you can just be here and show love, always smile, breathe, dance, hold the door open for someone, the golden rule stuff, regard others generously and without fixation, the more you're doing it right and gonna have a smoother path in life and enjoy life more. And I think in the next, if I had to speculate, in the next 5 years, you might find that time doesn't even move quite the same. You're able to attract higher vibrational outcomes. People call that manifesting or whatever, but it might be just smoother experiences. I've been mentioning in shows lately something from Cynthia Sue Larson's blog. She's been on, I think, a couple times, coming back on for her third appearance. She has the Mandela effect, as in Nelson Mandela. You can meet him, where two people could experience the same moment, and yet there's a split in reality. One version for one person, one version for another. And I think you're going to experience more of that. Like the cat glitch in the Matrix a little bit. That's a little serious and a little different. Okay, here's a little bit of sage. It's Juniper Ridge Sage. It's on my website. You can click on it. I think I would get like 5 cents if you ever bought the sage via my website through the Amazon affiliate or associate program. We're trying to get my book back online. Somehow it got punted from Amazon. It's been a #1 bestseller twice. Anita Morjani endorsed it. Hopefully, Book Baby is going to sort that sucker out. It's been up since 2014 without a hiccup. Maybe once we had it delisted somehow, a glitch. Book Baby took care of that like 6, 7 years ago. Hopefully, we're not in trouble somehow. We haven't changed anything for over 7 months, so we didn't do it. I didn't do it. But if you need to buy it, Barnes& and Noble, bookbaby.com has it. Stuff like that. You go to my website, some of the boxes still work as long as it's not Amazon currently. Okay, I'm lighting sage. I only have one rule for everything. Besides breathe through your mouth a little, shoulders up and down. If you need extra help, put your hand on your heart, breathe extra. Everyone forgets to do that. But here's my only rule. Set your intents. You're about to have a cup of coffee, step on the soccer field, write a song, listen to a song, dance in the shower. I didn't say that. Walk your dog. Ask angels, hey, angels, get me out of my head, into my heart. Help me have the best dog walk in the world. Help me hear my dog. Help me hit a winner on the tennis court, and so on and so forth. So I don't think a lot of us do that. We're usually setting our intent the other way. We don't realize that when we speak, we're putting the power of our energy behind our words. And we're actually often sending out negativity or attracting outcomes that we really wouldn't want if we could be more aware. That's all this is about, is recognizing that where we put our focus is where we put it. How we spend our energy is how we spend it. And you knew it as a kid that those old hot stoves that turned orange when they lit up, or red, or whatever color that is, the iron or the metal, You touched it once, you'll never do that again in your life. And yet, that's what our thinking and our judging and our fear, everything is generally fear. It's ego. There's a global slipstream of negativity. Holy cow. I've been doing this for 15 years. I thought I knew something. I've seen negativity, little small amounts of black light that I'm like, or negativity, I should say, where I'm like, hey, where are you going? You're in a nice house, throw the window open, it's gone, or it wants to leave. It doesn't want to be around a lot of light, happiness. And there's been worse stuff that's a lot worse. You have your experiences, but then that's it. And now you're seeing so much complexity on Earth. Holy cow, something's getting sorted out. Angels, light beings, other galactic figures, Jesus, Mary, everyone's saying there's a bigger game plan happening. Call it a global kumbaya. The vibration is rising up. So you're going to see in all this turbulence going on, I would argue there's an unwinding of structure and organizations and organizational movements that are all about control, power, fear. The more you have fear, the more you're kind of working for someone else instead of being your own boss. How about that? I like that one. So try not to worry on the disclosure front in 2026 if you hear we're not alone. Mankind's never been alone. You're being looked out for. What do you think half your intuition is on the golf course, tennis court, doing your art? You think it's your voice because it sounds good that way. If it's your voice, it's safe. You wouldn't want it to be your aunt coming in the middle of a tennis swing. You might shank the ball. You wouldn't want your grandmother who you love coming in the middle of like asking a girl out on a date or something. You might chicken out. You'd be like, "Whoa, my grandmother's watching. That's crazy." There's that little voice. Same thing on the other side. Little voice is telling you to jump in the Jag with that door open and go 140 miles down the highway. That's probably not an angel or your grandmother. Okay, now let's light some sage. Take a deep breath. I talk fast to tie up your thinking so you can be in your heart. You have a beautiful, shiny heart, beautiful connection to all there is. There's nothing you have to do here. And I'll tell a dad joke to prove it. Where in a hospital is the worst place to play hide and seek? Where? In the ICU. And for Easter, I'll give a rabbit joke. Why did the rabbit fall down that well? He didn't see that well. Okay, here's a little sage. I'm just lighting some classic sage. If you want to ask Native American chiefs, your guardian angel, Archangel Michael, and 20 other angels, plus your grandmother, to bring you cedar, sweetgrass, daffodils, tulips, you can get the sage first and then get that. So get this first, the sage, and then close your eyes and ask for flowers or an extra smell, get a touch on your shoulder. It's not linear. I mean, I'm blowing smoke through a screen. You might not be seeing this till the year 2035, and you're in Hamburg, Germany. Oh, well, welcome to the miraculousness of the now and opening openness. Here it is, the sage. Allow, 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 no try Yoda. I'll try to crack you up right now. If you laugh at this, I'm not embarrassed. I've done this Yoda voice 1,000 times, although I'm embarrassed. Okay, here it is. Mm, do not. There is no try. Now, if I can do that, you can close your eyes, take a deep breath. If you have to put your arms out, go kumbaya like you're at a concert or on the not on the bow of the Titanic. But catch a little sage, but ditch the sage after a little bit. The universe is pretty big. Trust me on this. Ask angels to step in, your grandmother, have them touch your heart, feel sparkles down your back. There's 1 million ways to get an interaction. We're just not smart enough, aware enough to ask for it more daily. You're lucky if it's like a broken clock with the fixed arms that you're going to be right twice a day. So if twice a day only you asked, hey, I could use a little love, I could use a hug, uh, I could use a little help with this. Fantastic. That's all this is little baby steps. So let me show you a little light on my fingers. This is out of the movie Celestine Prophecy. A lot of famous actors. They're showing this one guy from Band of Brothers in the jungles of Colombia or something where there's a revolution. They're showing him this way. In India, they do it this way. I had a guest on Sue Frederick on my main show, Angels, Positivity, and Love on YouTube, who mentioned, she was a healer back in the 70s. They were already doing it this way before the movie ever got produced. I use this as a background. Blue sky is number one. You do this. Make a giant pencil, pull apart, do two New York City elevators, and in between you'll see a little film and a light. Against a blue sky on your own, just breathe, be in your heart, see with all of you. You're doing the Zen thing, seeing without seeing. Um, you'll see light flowing between your fingers. And the extrapolation here, or extrapolate out, it's on the trees, it's on people. You're at a movie theater, look 2 rows down, and when they turn the lights down, but before the movie starts, you get that minute and a half of darkness. Look on the back of their heads, you'll see auras. Do so respectfully. You'll see auras on everyone in front of you. Or your professor's so boring. You're in an auditorium, those sloped auditoriums. You're tuning out. That's when a lot of people see auras. You just look at the back of a head or back of a bunch of heads, you'll see it. Also at restaurants, people eating, they're relaxing. Tune out, listen to the chit chat. Don't fall asleep. Just find somebody at the back of the head, and the further away, the easier it is in a way. Same thing with seeing angels. It might have to be an entire Walmart parking lot away before you see your first angel, Joy, Audrey Hepburn next to her, a Charlotte, a Mary, Big Mary, Archangel Michael, and then your grandmother. I never start with relatives because it's too personal. Some people start yawning, bawling, crying. Here's this. You get one more dad joke. It's going to be Sesame Street, Bert and Ernie. You don't need to know the details here. Don't worry about who they are. Just like all the rest of this. Bert offers Ernie ice cream. What's Ernie say? Sure, Bert. If you're laughing, you're letting go. Laughter's love. Okay, here it goes. Hopefully my voice comes through, but I'm standing up and blocking my microphone a little bit. Just see a little filament light. Give yourself permission to let go. And see a wisp between my fingers. Breathe, relax, no triota. And if you want to type an emoji in, I'm going through a lot of effort here. This is the 4,000th time. I'm exaggerating that I've done this. But I'll go wider and bigger. Ask for a shape in there. 10 people have gotten Jesus's face, 2 red cardinals, 2 phoenixes, ball of light, Merkaba, sorry, I almost had the clipboard fall. More shapes, more colors, spirals, infinity signs. See if you can allow for what you can allow for. Breathe, relax. You're seeing with your heart. You're seeing with all of you. Again, the Zen thing, seeing without seeing. I'll do it one last time. Okay. Uh, Anything you can do to like, share, subscribe. We are not throttled on this. We're 3 years into this channel, a little over, and we've had incredible guests. We're so fortunate that guests all over the globe recognize the value of chatting with angels, loving religious, non-religious figures, philosophers, galactic figures. It's gotten bigger. I've been pushing energy and light through the screen. Multiple people at the same time get to experience it. People do joint seeing and hearing and feeling on the panels. We have now officially 25 panels, mind, body, spirit panels. 3 guests normally for 90 plus minutes or so. A couple times we've only had 2 guests. And then we just did a panel number 25 was just for like 35 minutes. One guest showed up late and then had to leave at the top of the hour. So we're getting that one rescheduled to do a second version in June. That'll be episode Mind Body Spirit panel 26 or 27. We've got 100 plus of the APL Spotlight series. 300 and probably 20 episodes taped of the main show, plus solo talks like this. This should be number 72. So we're talking 500 plus episodes to choose from, and they don't get old. It doesn't really matter which one you choose. The APL Spotlight series, the Angels, Positivity, and Love show, the one with solo guests for the most part. Sometimes we have husband, wives, partners come on, or business partners come on. So we'll have 2 guests talking. Yeah, you're going to listen to them for most of it, and they're there to share their messages, and everyone has a unique path in life. It's this contrast that's so incredible on planet Earth, and that goes for the spiritual community, what they're doing for others, how they're helping others just find their hearts, be in their hearts. So there's something there, absolutely. But 95% of our guests, off air, on air, between the two, at least catch a little sage or see a little light or listen to angels, or, and this is what's so fun about the show, extra fun. A lot of guests will do listening to angels on our behalf as human beings. So they'll do some listening, they'll share the messages they're getting for all of mankind, for all of us. How do we keep our chin up in spite of all the complexity? You get out of one war for 10 years, and the next thing you know, we're promised peace and lower interest rates and a smoother path. And the next thing you know, it's a religious global domination attempt all over again. Welcome to being human. Welcome to our daily living. My situation is, my problem is, I'm stuck at my job. I'm stuck this way, stuck in this apartment. Finances, welcome to all this. It is so much simpler than we think it is, again, because this isn't about thinking. It's about less thinking. It's why psychology, parapsychology, meditation, mindfulness, they're all pointing the same way. Get to here. When you get to here, everything smooths out. It's Wayne Dyer. The things you look at change when you change the way you're looking at things. And that happens in increments. Sometimes it takes 20 years to make a tiny little shift, to finally breathe again and let in some light and love and flow. When Joe, your neighbor, and Sarah, your cousin, did that in 1 minute flat. And yet they're getting stuck on the artistic front. You yourself can write a song blindfolded in 30 seconds. It took Sarah, your cousin, 10 years to finally learn how to write a song. Everyone's different. Some people eat sushi, others don't. Some people are Reiki folks. There's 50 categories of Reiki folks. Some feel the light that they're passing through their hands. Others see the light. Others feel the colors. Those are the ones that are the hardest for me. It takes me an extra 40 minutes to help them rewire, unwire what they think they know so they can actually see colors in the sky or around them or connecting to people if they want to. Um, Animal consciousness. Animal consciousness is very, I don't have a word for this, whole, intact, pure, love. Most animals, 99%. You don't want to be in the water with a great white necessarily, but you see that all the time too. But if it's deer, dolphins, blah, 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 red-tailed hawks, if you would just pay attention to a little touch of that Native American stuff too. And then there's jaguar spirit, a little beyond, to me, jaguar spirit's a little beyond just animal consciousness. Jaguar spirit's very Gaia, Mother Earth. Um, White buffalo calf woman on the Native American front. You can meet Dull Knife, Red Shirt, Geronimo, Crazy Horse, Black Elk, Red Cloud, Sitting Bull, Chief Joseph, and a bunch of others. And that's really sacred. So you can close your eyes, sit, and be in the middle of a ceremony. You're not meditating. You could be going a little out of body. It's a fast way to go if you let angels handle it for you. You don't have to have a near-death experience to have the near-death experience, the positive side. People who have had them, a lot of near-death experience folks come on the show. We've had Michelle Claire, three near-death experiences, a doctor, like a physician, but also a psychologist as well. Dr. Yvonne Quezon, who's had five out of Canada, founded Spiritual Awakenings International. We've had Ingrid Ancala Garcia Hansen, if I got the names in order, out of Colombia, the country originally. She's had three, and she's been on the show twice. She's APL Spotlight Series #1. All those guys have had incredible, incredible stories to recount. But if you wanted to go back to the highest point of being on the other side, like you crossed over, you're in the middle of a death experience on planet Earth, but you're on a beach with your dog having a moment. You can close your eyes, sit like this, and let angels recreate it without having to be stuck in a hospital or in a car wreck and 50-50. So that's really cool. I lost my pooch October 10th. She was named after the angel Joy. Blonde dog, just absolutely fantastic. It was her time to go, but she's been connecting. I've seen her as a little bit of white light by my hip twice within like a 24-hour period. I've had other people when I'm filming in my living room, they're looking over the shoulder, they're seeing angels first, and then maybe another figure, and then my dog by the Peloton bike in the background, if you know my other background. The further distance away to go seeing for the first time, the easier it is for your logos, rationale, your ego, your brain, your intelligence, your geniusness. Um, it wants to control and measure everything. In fact, it's unfortunately part of something larger. There's a global slipstream of unlove, unconsciousness. We think it's genius-ishness. We think it's the most important thing. We think having money, the big pool, status and power and control and being in control of our life is everything. And I think you'll get disabused of that notion very quickly by the universe through accidents, near-death experience, health, crises after crises after crises until you start to pay attention. There's something greater in the universe. The fabric of the universe is really love. There's not an alien invasion coming along, although it may be the job of certain organizations, underground and above ground, and military this and military that, and even the disclosure community to try to generate some panic. And the focus isn't about statistics, technology, or this and that, even though that's what we're going to put our focus on. It is bigger than that. Mankind's ready for more kindness, compassion, simplicity, waking up, less thinking, less causing harm, and more allowing with a capital A. You have to be here to take a step. I had a really famous disclosure expert come on for over 2 hours. I got like 3 or 4 questions in. I even got yelled at by an audience member. I don't think that's ever happened in um, 300, 400, 500 tapings. They were upset that I was looking down a lot. I was just trying to recalibrate the question from time to time if I ever got a chance to ask a question again. because I got to ask like three during the whole thing. And I was really wanting to get that person talking again, so I could ask like 10 or 20 questions to bring up a lot of questions about the disclosure stuff, who's doing what, and everything else. Didn't get the chance. And that happens in shows. So, I mean, I've got at least 15 guests who took no steps. When it came time after the show to have a chat, the camera bumped out of the way, and I was just offering to blow a little bit of sage, and I didn't really get a response on that. So it can be that kind of cut and dry, but this is a famous person who's on many other shows and gets a good following. And so if that's what it's supposed to be, that's what it's supposed to be. But there may be somebody in there in the same shoes who's willing to off camera meet a light being, meet a few angels first, meet a passed over loved one, get answers, get a hug, full on seeing. And then often we don't get to mention that on the show because this isn't about proving anything. A person just does what they want to do. If it comes up during the show, fantastic. I want somebody to feel comfortable and be able to come back on. So even that person, if that person wanted to come back on, the one that I just mentioned, and talk for 5 hours straight, great. I'll still try to prep a question in the background, so that if I get a chance to ask a question, I'm sounding sharp and kind of plugged into the current flow of where we're at, topic by topic by topic. So that's it. No one's wrong, everyone's right. Customer service, or let's say hospitality, is the most important. I used to be a public relations guy in New York. I peaked out around 2008, setting up 1,100 plus media interviews in a single year. So a journalist on one side, expert on another, whether a lawyer, venture capitalist, or whoever, even a congressman once, and the OECD Secretary General. They paid me a lot of money to do this. I sat in on most of them. You never got anywhere by complaining about the expert or what could have been, or the reporter. So it's just how it is. You hope, you bring the horses to water. You hope they're going to drink. I loved bringing people together over the food, and over food, breakfast, lunch. I hoped a relationship could be formed. So it's not a wham bam, thank you, ma'am, a one-time transaction, but rather multiple engagements over time, and even bringing in an extra expert or a reporter, so more music could happen. Get a symphony going. That's what this is too. If if I ever get somebody privately and they want to bring in a friend and do it jointly, that'd be great. Um, Two sets of ears, two sets of hearts are better than one for experiencing stuff, especially if you're tracking down a case or you're tracking down, you need help with your company. Imagine what this is all about if you're scouting out real estate locations or needing business answers. Native American chiefs see how to get from point A to B. That's Dolnaif, Red Shirt, Geronimo primarily. Dolnaif is wisdom with some humor. Red Shirt's the gentlest mom in the world, pure compassion, soft spoken. Geronimo's action, dry wit, humor. The first two are proper, yes, no. The third, Geronimo, he steals the show. I swear he's probably the most popular figure. You think Archangel Michael, light being Seth from the 1970s, Mary, Jesus, Muhammad would be a bigger name. But he steals the show. He's like, yeah, nah, duh, you already know the answer. But he comes in like a thunderbolt. So he's all about the inner, fearless, peaceful warrior stuff. He cares about your personal development, your growth, very protective, a real go-getter. So I'll give you an example. You're lost in the woods. There's a practical aspect to all this. You're lost in the woods. You and I have met, or you've watched the show. You've had light show up around you. You've learned to get comfortable with it. You can see fairies. You can have an angel, a fairy, or Geronimo do a little light in the direction you're supposed to walk. You're disoriented, your compass broke, or you're just stuck. It all looks the same. You don't have any way to choose a direction. Yeah, you could just put your arm out and say, "Tell me when to stop." And they say, "Stop." It could be your grandmother coming in. And whichever way your arm's pointed, you're told to walk. There you go. You're saved. It really only applies in the middle of the Sahara or in the middle of the Pacific Northwest. All the woods look the same. I'm sure, and I guess some other types of terrain too. But Geronimo's very funny. So if you were in a canoe and it all looks the same, you're wondering which way to paddle, Geronimo might tell you at first, you're asking, which way should I go to get out of here? You hear that way. That would be hilarious. That's just meant to help you lighten up. Sorry, getting something off my screen. That's just meant to help you lighten up and laugh in the moment. That the current moment is always the occasion. It may sound like I'm smart on any of this, but Chogyam Trungpa, the Tibetan Buddhist monk who passed over around 87, 88, He said, call him Gentle Frank when I said, hey, that's a mouthful for Americans. He said, now is always the occasion. And he said a little more than that. I just regurgitate anything that sounded smart today. I've been doing this for 15 years or so. I've heard a lot, don't remember a lot, but what little I do, it comes out in these talks. I feel like I'm always saying the same thing. And this is a good time to remind you to share, like, subscribe, comment. I have a YouTube channel. I think I'm 10 subscribers, 9, 8 subscribers away from 3,000. In a New York City mindset or me judging all this, I would have thought we would have hit that a year or two ago. We've got balls of light flying by. People get miracles, they get healing. We've had a doctor admit that are in a good way, in like a testimonial way, that our heart condition got addressed by angels. This is all direct between you and angels. I don't see topics. I don't see conditions, medical conditions. Go see your doctor, take your medication, do whatever you're supposed to do. But angels have a better perspective on everything than anything I can offer. I try not to tell anybody anything, but I do feel and see where you're putting yourself. You can always be more here, and you know that from sports, athletics, art, relationships. When you're in your heart, you're experiencing all the good moments in life. You're attracting more moments. You're 1 plus 1 equals 11 or 111. Your neighbor is suddenly chatting with you. You're lighting up. You're a spark. You're sharing love and showing love. And that's the name of the game here. The more you do that, the more you attract outcomes. So this isn't about focusing on results. It's about focusing on improvement. And when we say improvement, it's not tangible, materialistic stuff like growing your bank account, although that happens. It's about just relaxing more and being more. I just had a ball of light go up like this. It did not show up on video. We have balls of light. Check out, I've got shorts playlist down below on YouTube. You can see balls of light coming out from behind, going like this and up by Jennifer Passavant, and then this. I think it happened 3 or 4 times, 3 in one of her appearances, 4 in another of her appearances. Um, Elaine Yoshikawa, PhD, Arizona State University. She had a beautiful light come up that way, and many others. And then there's times the guest sees it. I don't see it. I see it. The guest doesn't see it. It doesn't show on video. It's all over the map. It's what will you allow for? We've had 2 Germans, 2 South Africans in Germany, one up by Bremen and one in France. Sorry about that. One's a TikTok star with like 1.3 million audience. She had, I think it was Heather the Angel fly by that way, and then the other one was a very softball light. Can't think of her name right now. Just she's all the Quantum U show. And again, those should be in the little playlist down below. Okay, let's take some steps with angels. I'm going to read something for you. This is angel writing out of my Listening to Angels book. It's a 15-minute read. If anyone thinks I wrote it, you're amazing. It'll be back up online hopefully soon via Amazon once BookBaby finds out why Amazon punted it. Either a glitch. We've been a #1 bestseller twice last August, September, thanks to being on Coast to Coast AM. I'm just finding out now that Amazon very loosely polices that stuff since 2016. That could have gotten us kicked off for saying we were a #1 bestseller twice, but I have photos of it sitting there at #1 in Angels twice. It was #2 twice back like 5 years ago or 2022 or so. That or because I put Anita Morjani up on the description of the book. She recommended the book. And I think there's an editorial spot where you can do editorial reviews. I put her there as well. If it's not that, it's a glitch or someone complained about us and got us kicked off. I have no idea. It really doesn't matter. Who cares? You can get the book other ways. I'd love to get a physical printed copy out. There are 7 photos from angels in there that are provided. This is all provided by angels, and it's not balls of light or orbs. Um, it's Heather makes many different hearts in her photos. Go to my website, michaelandreford.com, find the angels photos page, and you'll see all the other hearts she's made. There's an angel named Dale. That's not a circle. He's coached a famous Olympic athlete from the 70s or 80s who won a lot of golds. Not the easiest task if you really think about it. Those people are like lasers, rinse, repeat. You're trying to get them out of their head into their heart to perform better. Check out the movie Peaceful Warrior with Nick Nolte, Scott Meklowitz, Amy Smart. That garage station attendant, it's like an adult Karate Kid film, the Mr. Miyagi figure. That's an angel named Herb. You can meet him. He looks like Jeff Bridges. Close your eyes. Tuft to hair here, gold chain, walking on the beach, big kahuna type. Get a hug from him. If you're a woman, you'll probably be like, oh my God, thank you, sir. May I have another? Really nice guy. He and Dale, two peas of the same pod, great coaches. Here's four archangels. I trimmed it. There's three more off camera. This is Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, Shamiel, Jophiel, Zadkiel are off camera. I've got one of all the archangels over my home. I heard 10 years ago, go outside nighttime, take a photo, and it's all the archangels plus Metatron. Blah, 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 blah. I was seeing balls of light as I was typing this book. And here's just a little excerpt. If I think this is from the book. Being is believing in all. You do not need to be like anyone else. Be you. Smile more, think less. Do not permit others to dictate your well-being. These are highlights from a little passage. Own your own being in life. Love more and allow more. You can be happy now in this very moment without a single reason. So those are just some little highlights pulled out of like six paragraphs next to each other, I think in my appendix of that book. All right, I will put up the angel joy in just a second. Let's do one more really basic exercise. This is a selenite crystal, white light. If you're like loosey goosey, you're already on board with this. Anything's resonated, that's great. Take a deep breath, exhale like a whale. Feel your own energy, but put your hand up and feel the selenite. And you can hear sound bowls playing physically in the room around you. You can get a sound bowl concert. Feel from your crown chakra, have it opened up by angels of the universe. Feel light passing through all the way to your toes. Get whooshed. And then you can hear the selenite kind of singing. You can hear words from the selenite. Last year it was a male's voice. This year it's been a female voice. Ask anything you want. Ask what you need to know for the month of April, for the month of May, how to have more fun. Don't choose your hardest questions first. Get confident. Then you can get cocky later. Get confident, then you can get cocky. So ask what you need to know, hear a response. Hit pause on this, back it up a little, hit pause. Keep doing this as you need to. Ask for a flower smell. If your eyes are closed, you can see light coming in on your eyes. You can catch white light around you. It's really up to you. How are you going to roll? I mean, this isn't something we remember or are taught, and it's wide open. Sky's the limit. Okay, here's joy. Stars are the limit. How about that? Here's joy. Put your hand out, treat her like a fireplace. She's an angel. She's joy. She's the emotion joy. Let her do her job. Feel what you can feel. Do not judge. That applies to your neighbors as well or a bad situation. The sooner you let go and go with the flow, the sooner you can let situations resolve and expand and improve. Remember, a lot of stuff happens not to you, but for you, so you can start to grow more. The more you resist it or argue or fight, divorce, whatever, the more you're creating ripples in your own life. You think you're causing harm to others, you're actually impacting yourself. That's a hard one to explain. Not my place to tell you this, but angels have a way to communicate it really well. All right, she can move in a static photo. We'll do Audrey Hepburn next, and then we'll start to wrap it up. Let her move. She could change colors. If you want to see pink light on your ceiling where the corner meets the wall, pick as far away as you can or look out. If you have a blue sky, you can see that's even easier. She'll show as little silver sparkles of light, like fish breaking the surface of the water. She could be a pink heart shooting star. She's an angel. 1 million ways to go. You can see them as full-on humans too. You have to ask for it, you have to allow for it. Sometimes it's divine intervention. You're stuck, your tire needs fixing. Angel shows up, fixes your tire, you turn, they're gone. You hear stories like that all the time. I've seen angels a lot. Heather, Dale, Charlotte, others. They're my stories. They're not going to help you let go anymore. It's only important how you roll. A lot of people are like, narrow lane blinder. They've always wanted to be this in life, their career. There's no need to learn anything else. For some people, that's fine. That's it. They're living the Dolce Vita. They're excited. They're having fun. Again, for many others, it's more like they're looking at their shoe tips and they are meant to completely do another unique life path. You have a unique life path. You've got to, I think it was Dale that put in the appendix of my book, and I think it's online. If you go to my website, there's a couple pages from the book. It might be the epilogue by Dale. He puts life into an undergraduate degree, graduate degree metaphor. You got to have one before you have the other. Well, the undergraduate degree is just recognize the difference between here and here. That's the hot stove top. When you realize that it's a hot stove up here, it's unconditional love, conditional thinking, conditional love, unlove, unconsciousness. And remember, many professions out there are living and dying, and industries and organizations and companies and government agencies are living and dying by existing up here. And I think that's where you're seeing the reckoning happening. I don't want to get into medical stuff, anything that we've all gotten subjected to, but it's awfully hard to pivot for some people. When you're rigid, you're stuck, you're up here. When you're open, you just simply grow. You learn, you expand, you say, and you adjust. So with Joy, she's an angel. She can get you any answer to any question. You can see her in your mind's eye. You want to see her if you want to see a field with your mind's eye and see her at the far side of the field. If you're really bold, you can see her up close. If you ever get a chance to look into her eyes, do it. I I was at a point maybe 14, 15 years ago where I was seeing stuff, didn't know how to deal with all the woo woo woo. Didn't think I was very spiritual or any of that stuff. Certainly wasn't Woodstock. Really relaxed about life. I mean, I'm freaking out, getting as many other people to help as possible, getting my house cleared. It's an Austin, Texas home. It was a great home. Loved it, but I'm still stuck on ghosts. I haven't met any angels, taken any photos. And I've decided I've had like in a period of a week, one stranger after another stop me and be like, oh, either you're lighting up, I can see your energy. Oh my God, whoa, what a lot of light coming off of you. Or I'm in a crystal shop. I'm not buying this stuff. I'm buying the black tourmaline, the onyx. There's three black crystals for protection. I'm putting it all over my house. I'm carrying some on me. I mean, I'm worried. I'm at South by Southwest concert. They have like 700 concerts across 200 venues for a week or two in the old days. In March or so, every year in Austin, Texas. Um, I'm trying to get the ex-general manager of Austin City Limits has agreed to come on the show. I think he's my only unbooked guest planned for September for the Angels Positivity and Love show. I've got almost everything lined up to almost October 20th at this point for the show. And I think it's Tom Gimbel. I've got to remember his name. I helped him a long time ago in Austin proper. He said yes, but this is last summer. I'm checking in now if he replies. A lot of people don't reply. A lot of people can't show up for the show. I've had about 75 no-shows. You'd never know it with the amount of guests coming on and everything. But I'm hoping Tom will come on. If he sees this, this is awesome. Really fun guy. But back to South by Southwest. I'm at Leah Ice's. If anyone knows the Brooklyn singer, she's just wonderful, very melodic. Woof. But I don't want to talk to anybody because I'm like, I just want to be at a concert. I want to lose myself. I want to connect to the music. And an official photographer for South by Southwest, Kara, stops what she's doing and she can see light on people. She's very intuitive and she ends up becoming a good acquaintance, a guide for me, very supportive. And I'm very thankful for that time. She let me know she was seeing my light. Ended up chatting with her more after that and stuff like that. So she was very supportive. Another time, I just want to go get a burger at the one place downtown Austin that reminds me of the East Coast where I'm from. I'm from up and down the East Coast, Florida to Newport to Nantucket, was in New York City for 20 years. And so this place reminds me of Nantucket. It's called Zach's. It's no longer there, but for a long time it was a fixture, very New Englandy feel. Great food, great bar, great everything. Down by the opera, um, the ballet center down there by Second Street, I think, Second Street Bridge. So I walk into Zach's, the place is empty. And I'm able to sit at the bar at the seat where the prior South by Southwest time I'd last been there maybe a month, 3 months earlier. And I'd sat next to a nice human being, a regular human who used to design album covers, record albums, designed them in the 70s. He's turned real estate mini mogul in Austin. Great conversation, really relaxed. And hadn't seen him since, don't remember his name now. There's no one in there. The bartender's not the usual bartender and is pretty scarce. One person at the end of the bar, though. Leather jacket, looks like a Hispanic version of Nick Nolte, and eating out of a mindfulness video. And very interesting fellow from afar, maybe 15, 20 feet down. In walks that guy that I mentioned that I sat next to. And here we are now sitting next to each other all over again, 2, 3 months later, same chairs. Again, regular human beings, safe. But I'm like, what are the odds? Uh, and I'm worried about ghosts. I'm stuck on the concept of ghosts. And I somehow that night got out of my chair to go talk to the special person at the end of the bar who gave us a cover story that they own a southern Texas like grapefruit farm or something, just passing through, eating out of a mindfulness video. I remember babbling about ghosts to this person. They gave me a look that shoved me over the fence that from that moment on, I never worried about ghosts. But it was actually the angel Joy in human form. And I needed a little shove from the universe where I looked into her. It's a guy, it's a Hispanic Nick Nolte. If anybody remembers Nick Nolte from Peaceful Warrior, the movie, Inner Fearless Peaceful Warrior that I was mentioning. Um, Beautiful gymnastics film, but very spiritual, all about getting out of here to get to here. So I look into this figure's eyes and I see the cosmos moving. And from that day on, from that moment on, I never worried about ghosts again. It kind of got me moving. I needed a little help. I needed a little slapping around. That's me. I need to hear stuff like 200 times. You would never know it with the show, helping people jointly hear, feel, see, and all the rest. You can see light on my hands. Um, I can push energy through. I'll try to remember to do that right after this. Um, but everyone needs help. And that's all this is about is even if you don't trust a single thing that I say, you're already outbounding one way day and night. When you complain about a person, or you're like, you get tense, or you're starting off your sentences with my problem is, or they're a jerk, or whatever. You don't see the negativity that you're doing to yourself or to the other person. And if you understood it properly, you wouldn't want to go touch that hot stove in the kitchen. Turn on a boiler, a flame, the old 1970s turns red, that stovetop thing, spiral. You never, who wants to touch a flame or, yeah, but that's what our thinking is. And that's why all this collective thinking, collective unconsciousness, collective violence, collective harm is counterproductive to mankind and the universe and contrary to what actually the greater flow is. Um, Love is a complete constant in and around you. And ask any angel, ask Mother Teresa. She's reconciled if there's always those people who are like, child, da, 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 bad person. No, she's reconciled. She's good. She's loved today. Chogyam Trungpa, same thing. Anthony Bourdain, same thing. Your relative that you were worried about back in the day, oftentimes they're reconciled. You'll find them a shiny younger version of the way you remember them. Um, I'll push a little light through. I'm going to do Audrey Hepburn real fast. I'll show you one of my flower photos. I take flower photography. I don't think I've ever plugged in 350 out of 500 shows. Let's see, or to 500 shows. I've maybe mentioned flower photography twice, but here's one of my flowers that I shot in a Austin backyard. I've got a little flower book. I think I have two actually. I think one's $3 and change on Amazon, and the other's like $5 and change. If you want to support the show, go grab a flower book. A lot of great photos. Those haven't been kicked off Amazon. And I have something else. I have cloud photography as well. And I have something called Glow Stick Zen. That's 22 books if you buy it $10 a piece. One big book at Apple for $200. And it's something like 1,700 raw pages, but if you're using an iPad and you're formatting, it's closer to 3,000 pages. I went crazy when I popped. I was seeing balls of light. I was hearing the Listening to Angels book is 100% written by angels. Holistic Zen, it's Mary, Buddha, Jesus, the whole crew, all sorts of cultures, religions. They did two-thirds of the book. I made it zany. It helps you shed your thinking. So chapter by chapter by chapter, you're going up the mountain where there are beautiful views. The mountain is here. You're just remembering who you are. I'll show a couple more photos. There's one. Pink Morning Glories. They're on my website. You'll do better there for seeing some beautiful photos. But let me just turn up the brightness on this, and I'll show just a couple more. Here's one more that's one of my favorite. And one sunflower. You can't not do a sunflower. Here's one of my classic sunflowers. I have sunflowers in the living room behind me all the time, plus this one. And that's the tiger from India, who's pure action. Here's one last sunflower from Austin, Texas. But let's get you Audrey Hepburn. She's an angel. Let her talk to you directly. You can see her directly. You can have your hand held. Get a perfume that's uninvented from Paris, Milan, if you wish. This is the top photo besides Sri Shirdi Sai Baba from India. I've got a colorized photo. He'll wink, move his body, his head, his arms, something, his hands. Same thing with her. She'll put her eyebrow up. We know photos can't move. So first, just if you need extra help, put a hand on your heart. Silently be like, hey, angels, get me out of my head into my heart. Help me relax. Thank you. Amen. Rock and roll. Om Saram if you're from India. You got to own it. Everything's got to be your way. This is like Burger King from the 1980s or 70s, whatever commercial that was. Have it your way. You have to have it your way. I've never been able to tell anybody anything. And the last time I checked, I've never met a single human being, whether it's a government official or a friend, a neighbor, a relative, somebody I've seen on TV, or a self-help guru who has said, I'm going to go out this week and every day I want to misspend my energy. I want to be wrong. I want to, yeah, I want to waste my energy. How about that? I'm going to go out and for a whole week waste my energy. Well, welcome to being human. That's what we do for at least 30% of our day, if not closer to 80 to 90% of our day. We think being up here is where it's at, out of our body, out of feeling, doing judging, being correct, proving that we're correct, and holding the other person accountable and crushing them silly, especially in science, especially among nations and everything else. You don't hear the word love very often, unconditional love. You hear about murder a lot. So that's that. Here's Audrey Hepburn, an angel. Just allow for it. Put your hand up, treat her like a fireplace first. Feel what you can feel. While you're trying really hard with your hands, ask angels to get you out of your head into your heart. Catch a perfume uninvented in the air that you're like, oh my God. Let her wink, smile, shoulder waggle, mouth will open, she'll smile. We know photographs can't move, but this is about no limits. And if you knew no limits as a kid, then it's the same thing today. Love is a constant. Let her do her job. Ask her a question. Hey, what do I need to know in life right now? Get an answer, get a hug. And I could really use a comment on this. Like put a comment down that's constructive. What did you experience? I've got hundreds of comments by now. I haven't been able to post them all on my website or respond to every single one, but it's going to get harder for me to respond in the future. But allow for what you can allow for. No triota. Um, I'll do one final act. I'm going to push Angel Light your way. I'm going to read a really cool, my favorite statement. If you've watched the show at all, I love reading this all the time. It's as gentle as it gets, as gentle as a lamb. And the shows just have wonderful guests. Very special stuff are happening. They're sharing key stuff. Vita Austin out of New Zealand, who talks about water consciousness. She's a water consciousness researcher, shared the near-death experience that half of New Zealand knew about, where the car gets crushed, everyone else dies but her. She needed like 20 plus operations. She even had glass coming out of her skin organically, so to speak, on its own. She had so much damage to her, and yet you'd never know. Beautiful, conscientious person doing their thing, following their unique life path. But she shared the other near-death experience that not many people know about. She doesn't talk about. And it was more like 411, David Polides, if I said it right. I never have to pronounce stuff out loud. The guy who was the ex-cop who has the amazing YouTube show. And she disappeared out on the water for like 3 hours. Coast Guard found her on a rock, but she had died. She was gone. And she shared the underwater experience with, we'll call it her, I don't know if it's relatives, but unconditional love beings in the water that helped her. So it's complete opposite of the 411 show. Everyone on those shows generally, few come back. They were missing for a while. The kids, they return. They got funny stories. You don't want to be on his show. You're not coming back, generally speaking. You're gone. Yeah, so not fun. But this was an upbeat, good bit of sharing. So Vita Austin, I think she was 2 autumns ago. So that would have been 2024. Check it out. Love to have her back on the show sometime. Here comes a little 3 or 4 sentences from angels as a collective, reminding you to just be nice, be nicer, be here more, allow more, share love always. I'm going to whoosh. I'll look like a goose or a swan with my wings, or that I'm cheating at ping pong with 2 paddles. I'm going to blow my microphones down here today. Feel what you can feel, don't judge. If you do, close your eyes after you just start to hear my voice blowing like that. You'll feel a little sea spritz here. You can bring in Hawaii. Let this angel maybe be the MC. She'll bring a Hawaiian sea breeze to you. If you're in Hawaii, pick anywhere else. I love using Hawaii. Okay, here it comes. Here comes a whoosh. And just allow, if you need to put a hand on your heart, do it. But let angels do their job. Kind of kick me out of the way. Here comes the first whoosh. I'll do this 3 times. How'd that feel? Should have felt something. It's the basic connection at this point. Now, put your focus on something. Give it a fruit name, avocado or peach or watermelon or papaya. You're in this type of difficulty or you just want to know what to do this summer. Why don't you put your focus to expansion? Let this help put wind in your sails. Here we go. Now, let's go big, go home. Most of you are at home, so go big. Let's do the whole kit and caboodle. Ask for all, capital A. Allow for all, capital A and capital A. Let them deliver a lot of love, get healing, get lifted off of you anything you need. You might cry, you might shake, you might yawn. Don't send it back to me, not to Texas, up to outer space. Let go, let angels do their jobs. Get out of your own way, get out of what you think you know into a broader knowing. Welcome to humanity, planet Earth expanding. I'll read that statement and then I'll do the final whoosh. Sometimes the person next to you or a stranger just needs validation via love and compassion. A smile changes any moment, so too does laughter or a few kind words. Be compassion to all, do it. So here you go. Here's the final one, then we close out. How about them apples? Thank you very much, Michael Andre Ford in San Antonio, Texas. Have fun, enjoy all. And if you don't ask, you don't get. So you don't need to know how to do it right, just to make sure you address angels. Angels, blah, 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 just before you go to bed. You're already one weighing as it is. Why not a little more one way? If you did want to trust the process, though, that you have the ability to hear and receive even more and even more quickly, why not take into account that Winnie the Pooh quote and treat it a little more seriously? Some people talk to animals, not many people listen, though. That's the problem. And I would add, it's not a problem. That's the problem, and that's the opportunity for growth for each and every one of us and collectively. Welcome to being human. You can allow more, receive more, and show love always if you wish. It's all up to you. Okay, thank you.